Welcome back. The program is still new on Oswojo, a morning chat fest where we inform and educate you on topical issues that concerns us as people. Yeah, today is World Environment Day, the 5th of June, and it's celebrated globally, as a day set aside by the United Nations to sensitize us and create awareness so we can protect our environment. Discussing with us this morning are two gentlemen, doctors, on economic diversification. Now, what is economic diversification? It is a process of shifting an economy away from a single source of income to multiple sources, ranging from a growing range of sectors and markets. Now, it is not news that the country has vested so much of its resources on depending on oil as the sole income source for the nation. But with us this morning, I think it's time to diversify, and taking a cue from a statement by the Deputy Director, African Department of the International Monetary Fund. I think in his statement he said it's high time the country thought about diversifying our income. With us this morning in the studio, we'd like to talk about diversifying our income with a focus on cocoa farming. Dr. Sunday Agbeni is a director and a trainer from the Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria. Dr. Sunday Agbeni, welcome to the studio.
Okay, thank you very much.
Next, sitting right beside him is Dr. Olalekan Ogunwolu, Director of Production and Substations, Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria. Welcome, Dr. Lekan.
Thank you.
Welcome. I would like us to go down a little bit memory lane.
Okay.
Now, diversifying the economy. Now, why? Okay, let me not say. Now, okay. Do we have to wait for there to be a change of events before it dawned on us as a nation to know that it's high time we diversify our economy and begin to delve into another source? Because cocoa now is like the bright light of the present now. So why do we have to wait for something to go wrong with the finances of the nation before we begin to look at, okay, let's begin to look for other sources of income for the country to raise revenue?
Yeah, thank you. Before we have been waiting, but to me, with this current government, both at the federal and the state level, I think they have changed their policy towards development of agriculture. At the federal level, they have started with the rice, but to me, we should not be on rice alone. We should go on this cash crop that can earn us very high foreign exchange. Just as I said, all the 5 crops I mentioned, they are international crops. That if we produce it very well, if we store it very well, if we process it very well, we can sell it all over the world. And Nigeria will be a producer, a consumer. And at the same time, people will be coming from overseas to buy all these products. So it's just to appeal to our government to spread this policy they are doing on rice, to spread it on these cash crops. Because all these cash crops can earn us a lot of foreign exchange. And the situation we have now, that it is this international processing company that is determining the price of our crop, will not be if we decided to be using it. Let me take example of Malaysia. Malaysia too is a producer of cocoa, but they are consuming more than what they are producing. So no international cocoa processing company can go to Malaysia now and dictate price for them. They will even beg them to sell. And Nigeria cocoa flavor is the best all over. Nigeria and Ghana, we are the best cocoa flavor in the world. And so if Nigeria developed these cash crops, especially cocoa, I tell you, this international processing company, they will be begging Nigeria to buy our cocoa, and we'll be able to determine this how much we will pay. And by so doing, our farmers, their income will be enhanced. Because if you are selling at high rate to those people, it will come down like that. It means what the farmers will sell his own crop at the farm gate will be higher than what they are selling before.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Okay. Doctor, I think you
Dr.
already had something.
Yes. Oh yes, I want to add something. My colleague mentioned something about diversification and what can government do. You see, a rice farmer, the anchor borrower scheme has not favored the cocoa producers. You see, a rice farmer can never, the children of the rice farmer can never inherit rice farm. There is no way your children, if you are growing maize, you see, that means that you keep on recycling 2-3 generations every year. But a cocoa farmer, your children inherit it. Yeah. Many of our professors, many of our people, they inherited cocoa farms. You see, government should come up with a clear-cut policy, not just naira policy. You talk about dollar policy, international currency. You don't talk about international currency when you are growing what you can eat, cassava alone. You know, the government should come up. Yes, I want to face cocoa. And good enough, Crane is not only working on cocoa, we work on cashew. Government can diversify, like our Baba Awolowo did. They have farm settlements. Government can diversify, large hectares of land, plant cocoa, put young graduates there. You don't need to pay them. In the next 3-4 years, these graduates, they will become employer of labor. Because some of their cocoa is not going as raw cocoa. Malaysia is producing cocoa. But let me tell you, Malaysia is also importing cocoa from Ghana. Why is it? Malaysia never sell cocoa as a raw beans. Why are you selling cocoa as a raw bean? There are many things there. Remember one time when we want to start this thing, multi-trace. When they want to start, they used to call it, they throw it aside. People will come and pack it. They call it Eruko Shodi. Never you know that Eruko Shodi is the egg benefactor, is the egg benefit. When you take cocoa powder, all those things that you call Eruko Shodi, it lowers your blood pressure, it takes away diabetes. Yeah. You sleep well. These things are a source of money that we have researched into, that government need to give a kind of backstopping to it, to make it available to young graduates. You see, for you to establish a cocoa farm, let me tell you, a young graduate without work, without money, cannot establish 1 hectare of cocoa farm on his own without government support. The reason being that cocoa is not rice, it's not maize. It takes you about, with the improved variety we have, about 2 years before it will start producing. Now, before you get to the economic scale, maybe another 4 years. But that man will be eating something. That man will feed his wife. So they need government intervention, at least to make land available, to make money available for cocoa seedling through cream. And these are things government can intervene, and it's a source of wealth. In fact, future wealth for the nation, unlike rice, unlike cassava, that you grow, you eat. You don't need anything for your children. You see, cocoa farmer, as I told you, is not an arable work. Yeah. In fact, the man started reaping the maximally after 20 years. After 20 years of production, because the man is not spending much again on some of the cost factors. So the profit will be more. So you can imagine somebody going to 40 years. So he has to have a kind of a security on this land, so that he will not run to the problem of the town or monile. Then the government should come up with a farm settlement. Some state governments are doing that actually. In Ondo State, in Osun State, they have farm settlement. These are the area government can come in, go into the forest, and we have large percentage of our land still in the forest area, not close to the city. Right there in the bush, government can get some of this land, allocate it to farmer. They can pay for it. Or just the government also is doing that. So our farmers also should go, because without farm settlement policy, that issue will come up. That issue will always, because by the time your cocoa begin and the man sees you, a lazy children of the landowner, by the time he sees cocoa coming in and money coming in, he wants to claim title. So the government should come up with a clear-cut policy on this farm settlement as it was done in that time of our Baba Awolowo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I wanted us to take another call, but now looking at the. Okay, let me take this call, please. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Who can hear you?
Hello. This is Adewale Obibeso calling from Obantuko.
Okay, Adewale.
Yeah. Please, I would like to ask that is from a train there that to have a profitable cocoa farm, it should be of what size for a young person that has nothing doing at present. Like I'm a graduate of 2 University of Agriculture, Moss Plantation and UNAM, but I have not doing. So to start such a farm, what should be the size that I can handle very well from the beginning?
Okay.
Yeah, on the size of the
Thank you, sir.
on the size of the farm that is profitable. You know, just as you already said, it's a cash crop that has a when you want to plant, there's a distance you live. Like for cocoa, it is 3 meters by 3 meters. Kò gbọ́dọ̀ súnmọ́ ra wọn jù púpọ̀. So pẹ̀lú yẹn ẹ rí pé ó máa nídìí ilẹ̀ tó pọ̀. So to start with, if you can start with just 1 acre for a starter, 1 acre is profitable. 1 acre will take.
Maybe we talk about 1 hectare, because hectare is like a football field.
Okay.
So 1 hectare will take 1,000 trees.
1,000 trees.
Conveniently.
The cost for a starter, uncle?
For a starter, you may not necessarily go as my colleague said. You can go for half of that.
Okay.
Half of a football pitch. So for you to make profit, as he earlier said, because he must get the material from cream. If it just like what the anchor person was telling us the other time, we don't have cocoa of 7 years again. Cocoa of 7 years is in the forest, in the bush. Ayé àtijọ́ nìyẹn, German cocoa. We don't have that again in our office. So you should come to crane, collect material that will start flowering by 2 years, 18 months, 2 years, and then you will find out that then it will make it as a business. Business grow. This year, go for half hectare. Next year, you increase again. That's how to do it. Because you cannot just handle it, just as I said, handle it with all your resources, you know, without government support, no insurance.
It's not easy.
So it might be so risky, just like every other business. So, but it can start like that, like 1 acre, go like that to 1 hectare, then add to it gradually. And that's how our father are doing the work. That's how they are. If you have about 10 hectare cocoa farmer today, it's not 1 year affair.
No.
It's over the years.
Over the years.
And if you do 1 hectare, let me give you quickly. If you do 1 hectare, you collect material from crane. We have good new material. We call it TC1, TC2 to TC8. I think I'm correct, sir.
The hybrid, yes.
So the hybrid.
Yeah.
That hybrid, one of them can give you 1.5 to 2 tons.
Per hectare.
Which is fantastic. And God helping you, you have 1 ton on your farm, you are talking close to ₦1 million. And if you have 1.5 ton, you are talking close to 1.5, 1.6 million to sell your cocoa. Because as a graduate, as I said, it will not allow his cocoa to be rotting on the farm. It will maintain it properly. Then he will be able to do the drying of the beans, and it will not sell to somebody who will come to the farm. He will go to where they will pay premium as a graduate, and if he doesn't know the place, he can call us. We will link him up with the people that will buy it. So it's a very good business. You can imagine making 1.5 million, 2 million. Lọ́dọọdún.
Okay. Now talking about these land grabbers. Is there a move of the government against these land grabbers or something?
What he said.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you.
Because even some lands that have some documents still have
exactly. But when it comes to cocoa, it's a government policy for farm settlement, for land. You see, we have in Ondo State that the gentleman mentioned. My goodness, you come and see that the Ondo State government, they allocated large expanse of land. Get to Ajebandele, even Ogun State government, get to J4. When you get to J4, you cannot be talking about some of these issues that we are talking about because they are government acquisition. Is their government land. They get to Osun State, the same thing also. They are government. Some of these farm settlements, those are the area would be young graduate that want to go to a full-fledged cocoa growing can go. And because there is no way you can settle the issue of land grabber. Crane also, our land at in Ondo State there, our outstation at Ibule, at Ibule. As I'm telling you, we have packed our material from that place because the land grabber in front of Futa, they've taken all the land. The land grabber took all our material away. So what are we saying? Even we that are government sponsor can face that. So the best thing is for government to just have a policy, clear-cut policy, that we are going, just like Baba Awolowo did. Up to today, some of those things are still there. So you can't talk about land grabber there because everybody knows land belongs to government. And government will allocate it for maybe 100 years, and then somebody has made all his money. After that, or even the children of the farmer himself. That's what I told you. Unlike the anchor borrowers, you know, anchoring on rice and rice and rice alone, children of rice farmer cannot inherit rice farm. It's the children of cocoa farmer that will inherit cocoa farm, that will give it to another person. The cocoa will still be producing. So we should look at that policy. So it's still in the hand of our government. Thank you.
We'll take one more call before we call it a day on this section. But I would like to ask, what's the process of making this, okay, for the young graduate who just called?
Yes.
He would like to know, okay, now he knows, okay, there might be some policies against land grabbers. What's the process?
If you call it chocolate, market may not, just like what my colleague said.
Because they've limited it to
exactly, to maybe maybe young children to be eating chocolate. But just like what he said, what of cocoa bread? Cocoa bread, we started in our institute. In fact, we cannot meet up the demand. We cannot meet up with the demand. Because people want to have chocolate, cocoa into bread. There's just a cocoa garri that is said. So look at this, and you can come to Crane. So we can work together. So as rightly said, by the time it comes to us, we will give them some of those things. There are so many things. What of the pomade, cocoa cocoa butter? Even do you know that ordinary powder of cocoa, you can customize it and you'll be making your money without growing cocoa. You ordinary powder, say this one cure this one do this one, and you customize it with NAFDAC number. You are in money.
Wow.
Okay, that's
much we can take on this section. I'd like to appreciate many thanks to Dr. Olalekan Ogunbolu.
Thank you.
He is the Director of Production and Substation of Crane. You must have been hearing Crane. I think it's the Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria.
Yes.
And many thanks to Dr. Sunday Agbeni. He is the Director in charge of training of Crane as well. Thank you so much for coming to the studio.
Thank you.